the BPC, which stands for Business Objects, Business Planning and Consolidation. So this is the product going forward. SAP's roadmap is clear for any planning and consolidation solution. BPC is the solution for the clients. Now this particular BPC, what it does and how it helps in doing the enterprise-wide planning. So in today's demo session, we'll be answering few of the questions. The first question, what BPC can do. Then we'll also look into the origin of BPC, like from where this BPC has come and what it was. It was called as what it was called formerly. Then we will look into what were the issues which were faced in the earlier versions of planning and consolidation solution from SAP and how this BPC is positioned to the business as a planning and consolidation solution. Okay, so these questions will be answering, and another question is which versions are currently in the market and what were the earlier versions of BPC. Okay, so these questions will be answering in today's demo session. Okay. So what exactly is BPC? It stands for Business Planning and Consolidation. So when I say business planning and consolidation, this product, which is categorized under the analytical solution from SAP, can help doing enterprise-wide planning and consolidation. So first we will understand what exactly is this planning and consolidation, and then we'll go to answer further questions. Okay. So when I say planning is nothing but projecting the future activities of the company. If you take an example of a typical manufacturing industry, you have different departments which will be functioning for a common goal among the enterprise wide. So let us take an example of a manufacturing company where you have the following departments: the admin department, you have a HR department, you have a finance department, then you have a production department, then marketing, then sales, then IT department. So these are all the typically in any manufacturing company you will be having a department, and each and every department has to plan for the future activities so that a consolidated planning can be generated for the entire enterprise. So admin department will be planning for the admin expenses. HR department will be planning for the headcount which is required for the future activities. Finance department will be planning the income statement and balance sheets, and even the cash flow also. And production department will be planning how much to produce. Sales department will be planning, marketing department will be planning on which product line to market more, and sales department will be planning on which product, which product, how much to sell based on the demand. based on the demand. So if you see here, every department is now talking in their own terms of planning, but ultimately all will converge into a financial plan. All will speak. Currently, it is speaking. All these departments are speaking in their own tone, but ultimately everything will converge finally as a part of monetary unit, which is a full-fledged set of a financial planning. So when I say planning, it's projecting the future activities of the company, and let us understand it taking an example. I am a mobile manufacturer and I manufacture and sell 10,000 units of my product yearly. Now I came because of market intelligence and the internal sales force, and because of some research report, I came to know that I'll be able to sell my 30,000 units of product in different geographies like APAC, AMNA, and Europe. Europe. Currently, I am a mobile manufacturer and currently operating in this particular market, which is APAC. And I came to know that because of there is a huge demand in the other geographies, I anticipate that I'll be able to sell 30,000 units of the product. So for this, I need to start planning, and it's going to be an enterprise-wide planning. So this particular BPC will help you in doing the enterprise-wide planning. Other terms associated with planning are forecasting and budgeting. Budgeting are forecasting and budgeting. So when I come to budget, if I am manufacturing 10,000 units yearly and my plan is to manufacture and sell 30,000 units of product, so I may end up incurring more cost for manufacturing and selling 30,000 units of product. So budgeting is something which is a top down in nature, where my higher management will put a slab on me saying that, okay, run the entire show with this much amount. So a budget will be fixed for each and every department, that you have to run the entire show within this particular budget. In case at the end of the year or at the end of the month, in case if the actuals are more than my budget, then the variance analysis needs to be done by each department head and explain the cause of the variance. So budgeting is nothing but it's more of a top down distribution of the funds. Then next, coming to forecasting. What exactly is forecasting? Forecasting is nothing but it's the realization of my plan, and it also serves as a monitoring mechanism. It also serves as a monitoring mechanism. So what exactly means by realization of the plan? It's nothing but now I plan to sell my 30,000 units of product. So I'll decompose this 30,000 units on a monthly basis. I'll distribute it on monthly basis: Jan, Feb, March, April, and all the months of the year. So forecasting is nothing but it's the realization of the plan, and it also serves as the monitoring mechanism. That means when I plan to manufacture and sell 30,000 units of product, so every month when I distribute my every monthly contribution, monthly sales figure will be coming around 2,500 pieces per month. Now supposing I am in the month of Jan currently, and due to some governmental legislation, I see that my sales may get hampered or sales may get increased in the month of March and April, or going forward all the months. Then, while doing a forecasting, I start adjusting my plan based on the forecast. I start adjusting my figures. So, due to governmental legislation, supposing it is favorable for my way of doing the business, so then even I can start forecasting that I may end up selling the 3,000 units per month, or even it can be less if it is negatively impacting your business. So you keep changing your plan to the external environments of the business. And that is how you forecast like what could be the impact, and accordingly you change your plan. So that is the forecasting. So this tool BPC, which runs on top of BI being the analytical solution from SAP, is capable of doing or of delivering these features for doing the enterprise-wide planning and consolidation. So planning, forecasting, and budgeting you can do with this particular tool. Now coming to consolidation, what exactly is consolidation? In simpler terms, consolidation is nothing but it's combining the individual financial statements of the subsidiaries and report at a group level by following the accounting standards, or rather I write accounting policies of the group. Let us try to understand it much more clearly. It's in simpler terms, it's a combination. It's combining the individual financial statements of the subsidiaries which they produce at the end of the year and report at a group level by following the accounting policies of the group. Let us assume I have a company which is based out of USA and it's running the business throughout the globe with its subsidiaries. So let us assume that C1000 is a subsidiary, C2000 is the subsidiary, C3000, C4000, and this C9000 is located in USA and it is my parent company. It is my parent company. So I also say it as parent company. The other terminologies for this are group company, or I can also say it as a holding company. C1000 is located in Germany. C2000, let us assume it's located in UK. 3000 is in Canada and 4000 is in USA. And this parent company has promoted these companies for an enterprise, for a global business, for doing the business across the globe. And C1000 is a company which is in Germany, C2000 in the UK, C3000 in Canada, and C4000 is in USA. These are also called as subsidiaries. Now, C1000, which is in Germany, will produce its financial statements like income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement at the end of the year. In the same way, each company code will produce its financial statements. Now, consolidation talks about combining the individual financial statements of these entities and report at a group level. This is what, in simpler terms, is consolidation. But there should be some type of adjustments which needs to be made before a full set of consolidated financial statement can be produced for a group company. So what are all those? C1000 is in Germany, so it will be producing its financial statements in Euro. C2000 in UK, so it will be producing its financial statements in GBP. In the same way, Canada, it's CAD, and C4000 in USD. Now, when they produce the financial statements, which is also called as local currency, these are all the local currency of that particular company. So when they produce their financial statements, they will be in a local currency. And before I start the consolidation, the first thing is we need to convert the financial statements which are being submitted in the local currency to the group currency. So the group currency here is USD. So hence this needs to be converted. So the currency translation will take place before I start the further steps of the consolidation process. Other than that, there could be some type of intercompany transactions which might have happened within the group, like C1000 selling for C3000, selling goods to C3000, C1000 selling goods to C2000. So those type of intercompany transactions must be fully eliminated. Fully eliminated before I produce the consolidated financial statements. Also, it can so happen that C9000 would have invested in the share capital of C1000. C1000 has invested in the share capital of C2000. C9000 would have invested in the share capital of C3000, and C3000 would have promoted by investing in the share capital of C4000. So these investments against the equity must be eliminated before I produce a consolidated financial statement at C9000 level. So the ownership, the investment of parent against the equity of the subsidiary must be eliminated. This is a part of COI, which I say it as consolidation of investments. And any such type of intercompany transactions which are happening within the group must be fully eliminated before I produce a consolidated financial statement at a group level. And this particular elimination will happen using the methods which are purchase method, equity method, and proportionate consolidation method. So these are all the methods which I'll be using to incorporate the financial statements of the subsidiary in the group. So this is all about consolidation. So now the next is this consolidation and planning are not new to SAP. Previously, the consolidation used to happen in ECCS, which stood for Enterprise Controlling Consolidation System. And planning used to happen now also in the most popular component called as COPA, which stands for Controlling Profitability Analysis. But there were some issues. These two components and applications were a part of ECC system, which was my OLTP system, that means the transactional processing system. Now, when these planning and consolidations are happening, when the processes are running, reading the data from the real-time tables posed some problem, and there were some type of performance issues. So what next? The next step from SAP was to leverage the analytical processing system, that is a BI system, which is an analytical processing system. So BI, and I have my ECC system here. So the next step was to make the data available from ECC to BI containers, BI cubes, and let the planning and consolidation run on top of BI. This is where just make this particular data of BI available to the planning and consolidation system and do the planning. So this is where SEM came into picture. SEM stood for Strategic Enterprise Management, and it had two applications which were very popular. One was BPS, which stood for Business Planning and Simulation, and the next one was BCS, which stood for Business Consolidations. So these were the applications which were a part of SEM product suite and served the planning. So you can also think that the COPA, this BPS is an extended version of COPA, and BCS is the extended version of ECCS. Both are used for planning and consolidation. Now there were some issues, problems here. The problem was that SEM was altogether a different system and BI is altogether a different system. And SEM runs one version higher than the BI systems. And both these products were released by SAP in a span of 6 months. The releases of both these products, the higher releases of both these products were released in a span of, there was a gap of 6 months between the two releases. So the business users have to wait for the new release of BI to upgrade the SEM system. So that was the issue. And moreover to that, these products, these solutions from SAP were of the theme that these solutions were owned by IT, managed by IT, and business as a power user or an end user. So this posed a lot of problem for the business, and business wanted such a solution where it is owned by business, managed by business, and IT to do technical support. So this is where this particular BPC, formerly called as Outlook Soft, as Outlook Soft false. So it can be managed by business, it can be owned by business, and IT just to support. This product, which is formerly called as Outlook Soft, after the acquisition by SAP, it was named as Business Planning and Consolidation. Any questions, Naveen, so far? Anybody, any questions?
No question, sir. Just it's fine.
It's clear? Just
Yes,
let me know if you have any questions, okay?
yeah, fine.
Okay. Now, when SAP first planned to acquire Outlook Soft, the Outlook Soft was running on SQL as a backend. Then the next challenge for SAP was to integrate this BPC or Outlook Soft to their own tools, which was to their own analytical tools, which is BI. Okay, so in place of this SEM is now a part of ERP system, from 6.0 onwards, this SCM has been moved to ERP system, and now BPC has come up to this particular place. So when the BPC was first acquired, the backend was SQL, and the SAP's challenge was to integrate this BPC to the own BI tools, to their own analytical tools, which so that means this will go, and in place of this, the BPC will come, so that the extraction from the ECC can happen to BI, and from BI the data can be passed to BPC data model for further planning and consolidation. So the first version of fully integrated to BI was brought in the year 2009, which was called as 7.0 NetWeaver version. After 6 months later, more features have been added to this product, and they have brought 7.5 NetWeaver version. Then in 2012, a major revamping in the technology, in the architecture of BPC has taken place. That means in till 7.0 and 7.5, there were several layers of .NET through which the data has to pass. So that was causing a performance issue. So those .NET layers have been removed, and a new architecture was being positioned in the version 10.0, in the version 10.0. So the major revamping in the architecture of BPC has taken place, and in 2012, 10.0 NetWeaver was brought. In the year 2014, the further variation of BPC with more features have been brought, and 10.1 was the version. And this particular 10.1, it comes in two variations. One is called as standard or classic, also called as classic, and another variation was called as embedded. It is also called as unified. The difference between the standard and embedded is that standard, it follows an account based model, whereas embedded and unified, it follows a key figure based model. And this embedded, it is purely relying on the PAC paradigm. PAC stands for the planning application kit, where lot many planning functions are embedded inside the HANA, so that you can run your planning application, you can run your planning scenarios. Okay, this was purely based on the PAC paradigm. Another key differentiator between these two is that embedded can run only on HANA, and for standard it can run, HANA is optional for standard. HANA is optional. It doesn't mean that it doesn't run on HANA. Yes, it can run on HANA, but HANA is optional. HANA is nothing but it's an in-memory database with its own set of software and hardware. So the entire data, business data, will be kept in the memory. That means the RAM, where the read access will be much more faster. It will be able to process any type of queries on the fly. Okay. So this was decommissioned in the year 2013. That means the end of maintenance was 2013. For 7.5 it is up to 2017, the end of maintenance. For 10.0 it is 2020, and for 10.1 also it is 2020. So this is now no more maintained by SAP. This is going to be maintained by SAP till 2017. After 2017, the customers using 7.5 NetWeaver must upgrade to 10.0 or 10.1. Direct migration is also possible from 7.5 till 10.1, and this is being maintained by SAP. These two versions are being maintained by SAP till 2020. Okay, and If you see the help.sap.com, you'll be finding the two versions every time. So that is NetWeaver and as well as Microsoft version. Microsoft version are also available for this. SAP has committed for a dual release because at the time when BPC was first acquired from OutlookSoft, most of the customer were running this OutlookSoft on SQL. Hence, the SAP has committed for a dual release. That means whenever a NetWeaver version is brought, they will also release the Microsoft version, so that the Microsoft version will be used by the customers who doesn't have a SAP landscape, and NetWeaver version will be used by the clients who have the SAP footprint. Yeah, Naveen. Any other questions? Any questions here? So currently this is the latest version from SAP 10.1. It comes in two variations. One is standard and one is embedded. So mostly the standard is being used in the current market. Naveen, any questions? Anybody else has any questions? So what we will be looking is the entire planning and consolidation, and we'll look into the features of how a planning is done. It's an end-to-end, and we will also look into how the consolidation is done to produce a consolidated financial statement at a group level. So these are all the things we'll be looking throughout the entire session, and the session duration is going to be 45 days, and every day it's 1.5 hours. Okay, Naveen? Okay, all?